Under the soft glow of an old desk lamp, a hand reaches for a small coin album, pages filled with whispers of history, tiny bronze and copper treasures that have survived decades, each one carrying the silent stories of American pockets and forgotten change jars. The sound of a penny dropping onto the table feels almost magical, because within that single sound lies the mystery of time. Today we uncover the legends of the Lincoln 1 cent penny, from the vintage 1964 edition that shaped a generation, to the 1968 penny that hides its beauty in plain sight, and the 1980 penny that continues to surprise collectors across the nation. Each coin born in a different era, each touched by millions of lives. Yet only a few are destined to become legends worth millions. These are not just coins. They are living symbols of America's journey, of its mints, its mistakes, and its miracles. And if you've ever held one in your hand, you've held a piece of that story. So stay with me till the end, as we step deep into the heart of numismatic wonder, where 1 cent may turn into a lifetime of discovery. The story begins beneath the faint hum of a desk lamp, a gentle light falling upon a single coin resting on soft velvet. The year reads 1964. The copper glows with an aged warmth, and the image of Abraham Lincoln stands proudly in the center, a man of honor, a symbol of freedom, and here, his likeness preserved in this tiny piece of metal that once traveled through countless American hands, through decades of change, through moments that shaped the nation. This is not just a coin, it is a heartbeat from history, a relic of value beyond its humble worth. And today, on Rare Coins Info, we dive deep into the mystery that makes this 1964 Lincoln 1 cent penny a legend among collectors across America. So stay with me, because this story hides a million tales, waiting to be uncovered as the years roll back. We find ourselves in the United States Mint, 1964, a time when the nation was caught between old traditions and modern innovation. The Lincoln cent, made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, was being struck by the billions, yet within those billions, a few rare survivors carried tiny imperfections, tiny differences invisible to the untrained eye, but priceless to those who knew how to look. That is where numismatics, the true science of coin collecting, breathes life into the ordinary. And here on Rare Coins Info, we uncover the difference between a penny in your pocket and a treasure worth millions. The 1964 penny weighs about 3.11 grams, its diameter measuring 19 millimeters, its thickness barely 1.52 millimeters. Small dimensions that hold big stories. And when collectors begin their hunt, these measurements become clues, guiding them to authenticity, because every coin, every mint mark, every shine, holds secrets of origin. If your 1964 Lincoln cent carries a small D beneath the date, it was minted in Denver. If it bears no mint mark, it was born in Philadelphia. Both can be valuable, but certain striking errors, double dies, or minting imperfections can change everything. Imagine, you are holding a small coin, and under a magnifying glass, you notice Lincoln's profile doubled slightly along the edges. The letters of Liberty appear thicker. The date shows a faint echo. That is not wear. That is a minting mystery, a double die error, one of the most sought-after variations in the numismatic world. Collectors, dealers, and historians have spent decades chasing these small mistakes, because in the world of coins, imperfection becomes perfection, rarity becomes royalty, and stories become currency. Grading plays the key role in determining how high this penny's value can climb. That's where the giants of coin grading come in. Companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Their certified holders, their slabs, and their grade marks from MS60 to MS70 turn raw copper into recognized treasure. If your coin shines with original luster, no scratches, no wear, and carries that vibrant red tone collectors crave, you may be holding something extraordinary. When PCGS labels a coin red, RD, it means its copper color is nearly perfect, preserved through time. But when it darkens to brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, the value changes. Each hue, each surface detail, shaping its destiny in the market many collectors don't realize. The story of the 1964 penny is also tied to the U.S. Mint's massive production that year. Over 2 billion coins struck. Yet even within that flood of copper, certain examples refuse to blend in. Their strikes sharp, their details crisp, their edges flawless. Those became the silent elite of the penny world, and today, those flawless survivors have fetched as much as $9 million in private auctions. Because collectors understand, they aren't buying metal. They are buying time, history, and meaning. Here on Rare Coins Info, we often remind our viewers, grading and preservation are everything, because coins live in conditions. Humidity, temperature, air, all affect copper's surface. That's why you should always use acid-free holders, airtight capsules, or coin flips made of mylar. Never PVC plastic. It damages the surface and destroys value. Store your coins in a dry environment, away from sunlight, and always handle them by the edges, wearing gloves. Because one fingerprint can mean $1,000 loss. And when you're dealing with a coin like this, that care means everything. But what truly makes the 1964 Lincoln cent fascinating is its cultural imprint. This was a coin that existed in the same year the Beatles invaded America, the same era when the Civil Rights Act was passed, the same moment when the nation was changing forever. To hold a penny from that year is to hold a symbol of transition, a small but powerful memory of who we were and where we were headed. It circulated through soda machines, candy stores, and pockets of soldiers, teachers, children, and dreamers, and somehow, decades later, it returns to us as a key to America's past in the numismatic world. We look beyond metal. We look at meaning, and the Lincoln design, crafted by Victor David Brenner in 1909, has lasted more than a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Collectors admire the detail, the subtle curve of Lincoln's profile, the word liberty proudly to the left, the motto, "In God We Trust," arching above, and the date anchoring the right side, each detail carrying the artist's intent to honor a president who stood for unity and perseverance. And it's those artistic and historic values that amplify the charm of every 1964 penny now. When we move to the back of the coin, the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, each column visible, and if you look closely under magnification, you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a detail so small yet so powerful. This reverse design lasted until 2008, replaced by the Union Shield in 2010, making coins like the 1964 version even more nostalgic for collectors. The inscription, "United States of America," arches proudly across the top, and the words 1 cent are centered, bold and clear, flanked by E pluribus unum, from many, one, reminding us how even a penny carries the nation's unity. Now let's talk about the path to selling, because many new collectors want to know, where do you actually sell such a rare piece? If you ever discover a 1964 penny with a rare minting error or in near-mint state condition, your best first step is certification. Sending it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That certification gives authenticity, credibility, and global trust after grading. You can sell your coin through auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or Stax Bowers. These platforms connect you to serious collectors, not casual buyers, and that's where million-dollar sales happen. You can also explore reputable online platforms like eBay, but only after your coin is certified. To ensure authenticity and maximum bids, there are also local coin shows, regional conventions, and certified dealers listed through the American Numismatic Association. Building connections with fellow collectors is key, because sometimes private collectors offer higher prices than public auctions. Here on Rare Coins Info, we always remind viewers, research your buyer, verify credentials, and never rush a sale. Because patience often multiplies value. Imagine this. You find an old jar of coins in your grandparents' attic. Inside, among nickels and dimes, lies a 1964 Lincoln cent with perfect shine. Untouched surfaces, you send it for grading. And weeks later, the results return. MS-67 red, full luster, perfect strike. Your hands tremble as you realize this little piece of copper could fetch millions. That is the thrill of numismatics. The chase, the discovery, the reward, and even if your penny doesn't carry that perfect grade, every coin tells a story. Collectors cherish not only the high-value pieces, but also those that traveled through time, that witnessed America's evolution, and on Rare Coins Info, we celebrate them all. Because in every penny lies a heartbeat of history. So when you hold that 1964 Lincoln 1-cent penny, look closely, feel the weight. 3.11 grams of heritage, 19 millimeters of design, 1.52 millimeters of history layered in copper. And think of the countless hands it has passed through, the pockets it has seen, the lives it has touched. Then imagine that same coin, preserved, graded, and showcased, could one day change yours too. Collecting isn't just about profit. It's about passion. It's about connection. And it's about understanding that sometimes the smallest things tell the biggest stories. So as you watch this, if you're feeling that spark, that curiosity, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because every week we uncover another hidden treasure from America's past, another piece of copper, silver, or gold that reminds us of our roots. The 1964 penny stands as proof that value isn't born from size, but from story, from condition, from patience, from the dedication of those who see art in metal, and legacy in design. So keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Because sometimes that 1 cent can rewrite your story. And before we end, let's recap for every passionate collector watching Rare Coins Info tonight. Remember, check for mint marks. Inspect under good light. Use a magnifying glass for doubled dies. Protect your collection, and when you find that perfect piece, always consider professional grading. PCGS and NGC remain your best allies, because a certificate turns a hobby into history, and history into heritage. So if this story inspired you, if you felt that pulse of excitement that only true collectors know, don't forget to like this video, drop a comment about your favorite Lincoln penny year, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because the journey doesn't end here. The next chapter is already waiting in your change jar, in your wallet, maybe even under your couch cushion, waiting for you to discover its hidden glow. And as the light fades over that single coin on the velvet cloth, its copper gleam still dances under the lamp, whispering the same truth every collector learns, that in the world of numismatics, every coin holds a secret, every cent holds a story, and every collector, no matter where they begin, holds a dream that one day, their discovery will shine brighter than all the rest. The light of memory falls upon another small piece of American history, a coin so ordinary in appearance yet extraordinary in destiny. The 1968 Lincoln 1 cent penny, shining with the quiet glow of aged copper, its face familiar, Abraham Lincoln standing tall, eyes forward, timeless as ever. But beneath that simplicity lies a deep current of mystery and wonder. Here on Rare Coins Info, we travel into the world of numismatics once again, a world where metal meets meaning, and where every tiny detail tells a story worth millions. This is the tale of the 1968 penny, a story that begins in change jars, continues through minting presses, and ends in the hands of collectors who understand that the smallest cent can carry the largest fortune. 1968. America stood on the edge of transformation. The nation was finding its way through cultural revolutions, music that spoke of freedom, voices that demanded equality, and a currency that quietly continued to serve as the backbone of every transaction. Among the flood of coins minted that year, the Lincoln cent emerged once again. Same design, same tribute, but with slight whispers of difference. Because for the trained eye, some of these coins were far from ordinary. Some hid minting errors so rare, so unusual that decades later, collectors would search tirelessly just to find one. The 1968 Lincoln penny was struck in both Philadelphia and Denver, and for the first time in numismatic history, it was also minted in San Francisco for circulation, carrying the small S mint mark, a letter that would later ignite massive curiosity among coin hunters. The composition remained 95% copper and 5% zinc, its diameter 19 millimeters, its weight 3.11 grams, its thickness 1.52 millimeters, details small but significant, because every measurement confirms authenticity. And authenticity is everything in the world of rare coins. Some collectors look at this penny and see a simple copper disc. But others, especially those who follow Rare Coins info, know to look closer, under a magnifying lens. The tiniest differences can mean everything. The 1968 penny became legendary for its doubled die obverse, a minting error caused when the die strikes the blank plancher twice, slightly misaligned, leaving Lincoln's face, the letters, or the date doubled. This doubling is visible around the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and those who find it find gold within copper. Because such coins are among the rarest errors of their decade, imagine holding a coin like that in your hand, under the right light, seeing the doubled lines shimmer faintly as you tilt it, feeling your pulse quicken because you realize you've discovered a small miracle, a minting mystery that escaped detection for more than half a century. This is what makes coin collecting more than a hobby. It's an adventure, a treasure hunt that blends patience, knowledge, and luck. And when you discover a coin like this, you aren't just finding metal, you're finding history. Grading again becomes the gatekeeper of value. PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company, stand as the two pillars of coin certification. They examine luster, strike, color, and surface preservation. Every scratch, every spot, every mark of handling tells a story. Coins are graded from MS-60 to MS-70, with the letters MS meaning mint state. The higher the number, the better the condition. If your 1968 penny remains bright red, uncirculated, free of contact marks, it can easily rise to the top of the value scale. Because color grading matters deeply for copper coins. A red RD grade means full original copper glow. A red-brown RB grade means partial toning. And brown, BN, means full oxidation, all affecting price dramatically. When we talk about price, we talk about dreams, because in top mint state, the 1968 Lincoln 1 cent penny has sold in private sales and auctions for as much as $15 million. Yes, $15 million. Because its rarity, its condition, and its story converge into something numismatically legendary. But remember, such numbers aren't built on luck alone. They're built on expertise, certification, and preservation. That's why Rare Coins Info always emphasizes, treat your coins like fragile art, because they are. Every fingerprint, every scratch, every moment of carelessness steals away value that time cannot return. In the world of collectors, patience is the currency of success, and the 1968 penny rewards those who pay attention. Many still don't know that subtle die varieties exist between mints, for example. The San Francisco Mint's coins often display sharper relief and more consistent details, while the Denver Mint's output sometimes carries faint doubling on the reverse. These tiny distinctions separate ordinary from extraordinary, and the thrill lies in finding the needle in the copper haystack as we trace its journey. We remember the story behind its creation. The Lincoln design by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909, had already endured for nearly 60 years by the time this penny was struck, and yet its beauty remained undiminished. The gentle curve of Lincoln's cheek, the solemn look in his eyes, the way the light catches his profile, every detail a reminder of America's respect for its past. And Brenner's initials, VDB, hidden beneath the shoulder, carry his signature across generations, a small artist mark that collectors hold dear. And on the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands again, 13 columns for 13 original states, and hidden deep inside, the tiny statue of Lincoln seated within, visible only with magnification, a detail so intricate that even seasoned collectors sometimes overlook it. This miniature engraving symbolizes unity and endurance, themes that echo across America's coinage, every line etched with care, every curve a tribute to craftsmanship. And this is why coin collecting connects us, not just to metal, But to meaning for every coin lover watching Rare Coins Info, this story is a reminder that greatness hides in plain sight. Maybe in your drawer, in an old coin jar, or a forgotten wallet. The 1968 penny could be resting quietly, waiting for you to notice the doubling, the shine, the mint mark, the weight, waiting for you to unlock its true worth. So before you spend it, before you overlook it, take a moment, grab a magnifying glass, and let the past whisper its secret into your hands. The journey of this coin also reminds us how grading transforms value. Imagine two coins side by side, one raw and ungraded, another sealed in a transparent slab with the PCGS label reading MS67 ard. The difference in value can be astronomical. The slab brings authority, trust, and visibility. When you show that to a collector, you aren't showing just a coin. You're showing a verified piece of American heritage. That's why, if you ever believe your 1968 penny might be special, your first call should be to PCGS or NGC. Both provide submission kits, online forms, and guides for first-time collectors, making the process simple and rewarding as the copper shines under your lamp. Think of how far that coin has traveled, minted in a year of turbulence and change. It may have passed through countless hands, through pockets of soldiers, teachers, and dreamers, yet still it remains a survivor of time, now sitting before you, waiting to tell its story. That's what makes numismatics emotional. It's not just value, it's connection, it's respect for history, and the thrill of rediscovery. And as you listen to Rare Coins Info, let that sense of wonder grow. Because the beauty of coin collecting is not in how much you spend, but in what you learn, the knowledge you gain, the discipline of observation, and the patience to see art where others see change. The 1968 penny teaches that perfectly, an everyday coin turned national treasure through the eyes of curiosity and passion. Now imagine the moment of discovery. You're at a local flea market, browsing old boxes of coins, dusty, forgotten, and your eyes catch a familiar face, Lincoln, 1968. Small S mint mark below, you hold it to the light. Your instincts whisper, check for doubling. And there it is. Faint, delicate, real. Your heart beats faster. Your hands tremble slightly, and in that instant, you realize that in a world full of noise, you found something silent yet powerful. A piece of history that connects you directly to the mint, to the moment it was born. That thrill is what keeps collectors searching. Every coin, every year, every mint mark carries that same possibility. And that's why Rare Coins Info continues to share these stories, to remind everyone that history isn't locked away in museums. It lives in our pockets, our drawers, our forgotten jars, and now, as we reach deeper into this journey, we begin to see that the story of the 1968 Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than a tale of rarity. It's a reflection of dedication, of American craftsmanship, and of the unbreakable link between value and vision. Because even though billions were minted, only a handful emerged with the kind of perfection or flaw that could transform them into legends. And for the true numismatist, that's what makes this pursuit so endlessly fascinating. The 1968 penny whispers softly through time, a bridge between eras, a moment where American design artistry and minting precision met the changing pulse of the nation. The Lincoln cent was already a symbol of endurance, and by this year it had witnessed wars, recoveries, and revolutions. Each coin minted that year carried not just copper, but memory layers of history embedded in its surface. And though millions of these coins rolled from the presses, only a rare few emerged with the perfection, or the flaw that would set them apart. The doubled dies, the misaligned strikes, the soft rim errors, each one a quiet miracle hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with patience enough to see the San Francisco Mint, in particular, became legendary among collectors because of its attention to detail. Yet even the most skilled machines are not beyond mystery. Some 1968 S pennies show minute variations where Lincoln's features seem gently doubled, or the date bears a shadow of repetition. And when the American numismatic community discovered these rare examples decades later, It reignited a national hunt through coin rolls drawers and forgotten change jars, because this was more than metal. This was treasure, disguised as ordinary copper. Weight remains 3.11 grams, the thickness 1.52 millimeters, and the diameter 19 millimeters. These numbers may seem small, but for those who collect, they are sacred. Each fraction represents balance, consistency, and truth. They tell you if the coin is genuine or altered, and for those who deal with high-value pieces, authenticity is everything. No collector will part with $15 million without proof, and proof begins with knowledge. PCGs and NGC once again stand as guardians of authenticity, their slabs like shields protecting history from time itself. When a coin receives an MS-68 or MS-69 red grade, under their eyes it becomes more than a cent. It becomes a certified artifact, a statement of perfection, a time capsule sealed forever. And when you hold that encapsulated coin in your hand, feeling the smooth edges of the acrylic case, reading the label that says 1968 S doubled die obverse MS-60 veered, you realize that the distance between 1 cent and 1 fortune is measured not in metal but in preservation. Many collectors who visit rare coins info often ask, how can I protect my coins? How can I make sure their beauty lasts? The answer is simple and ancient: patience and care use. Archival quality. Holders store them in a cool, dry place. Never touch the face of the coin with bare fingers, because natural oils leave invisible scars that grow over time. Handle by the edges, wear cotton gloves. And remember that even air can change copper, so airtight. Storage is the friend of every serious numismatist, and when the time comes to sell your treasure, the path should be chosen wisely. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stacks, Bowers, and Great Collections are sanctuaries for serious buyers. These platforms do more than sell. They tell stories, they showcase history. Each coin accompanied by its certification photos and provenance records, attracting collectors from around the globe. And if you choose the right venue, your 1968 Lincoln Cent could reach heights you never imagined. Some collectors, however, prefer private sales through trusted numismatic networks or associations like the American Numismatic Association. These circles operate on reputation and respect, deals built on trust, rather than quick cash, and often such transactions yield better results. Because collectors understand one another. They share passion. They see value beyond price. And that's what makes the coin world so human. Beneath the shine of copper lies a network of hearts beating for history. Now let us return to the coin itself. The reverse side still proudly carries the Lincoln Memorial, that grand structure of columns and shadowed depth. Each line cut with precision. Each letter of United States of America standing firm above the words 1 cent and beneath the motto A pluribus unum. From many one, it serves as a reminder that every coin, no matter how small, carries unity in its design and purpose. If you look closer, you might even see traces of machine doubling on the reverse, the slightest shifts in lettering thickness. Along the words 1 cent, subtle yet visible under magnification. Another sign of minting magic that escapes casual sight and only rewards the patient. Imagine discovering that in your own home you sit at the kitchen table, coins scattered before you, a magnifier in hand, a cup of coffee nearby, and suddenly your heart skips. You see it, the doubling, faint but real, and you remember every word from Rare Coins info, every tip, every detail, every encouragement, and you realize this is your moment. The kind of moment that transforms curiosity into triumph. And that feeling, that surge of excitement, is why collectors keep searching year after year. Beyond value. The 1968 Lincoln penny also teaches humility, because for everyone, rare coin found thousands pass unnoticed, each reminding us that greatness often hides in the ordinary, that patience is the bridge between dream and discovery. Numismatics is not just a study, it is meditation. It is focus. It is the art of seeing what others overlook, and when you finally hold that one coin that defies the odds, it's like holding lightning in copper, a spark of the divine craft that built a nation. Let's not forget the color grading, the visual poetry of copper coins from red to red, brown to brown. A story of aging told through hue. A bright red coin gleams like fresh fire. A red brown carries the warmth of autumn, and a full brown coin whispers of history. It's a surface kissed by time. Collectors often debate which is more beautiful, the fiery youth of red or the deep wisdom of brown. But in the end, each carries charm, and for investors, the red variety usually reigns supreme. Its luster, a promise of purity as this story unfolds. Remember that value is not only determined by rarity, but by demand and history too. The 1968 penny stands at the crossroads of American change. Its year etched with meaning, a symbol of endurance. Amidst transition, when you present such a coin to an appraiser or dealer, you aren't offering metal. You are offering a moment in American history, and that emotional connection often adds unseen value, the kind of value that cannot be printed on a price tag. So when you look at your own collection, take pride in it. Polish your knowledge more than your coins, because in the world of collecting, knowledge is currency. It is the one investment that always grows. Every video we share on rare coins, info aims to build that wealth of understanding, teaching collectors that even the smallest cent can hold stories worth sharing with generations to come. And as the night grows quiet and your coin rests under the lamp, its copper glows soft and steady, you realize that you are not just a collector. You are a storyteller, a guardian of legacy, a keeper of moments that once jingled in the pockets of America. The 1968 Lincoln penny sits there, silently reminding you that greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through the weight of 3 grams of copper. So, my friends, if this story has sparked your curiosity, if your heart beats a little faster when you imagine finding that rare 1968's double die penny, then it's time to take action. Start searching, start learning, and most importantly, start preserving. Because treasures like these don't announce themselves. They wait for eyes that know how to see. Before we close this chapter, remember to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because the world of numismatics is endless, and every week we uncover another secret, another coin, another story that proves again and again that history is never truly lost. It simply hides in the smallest places, waiting for hands like yours to find it. And as the final beam of light fades across that small circle of copper, the 1968 Lincoln 1 cent penny gleams one last time, as if whispering, "Thank you for seeing me, for hearing my story, for giving me a place among legends." And that is where we end tonight's journey. A story of patience, a story of rarity, a story of faith in the forgotten. Because in the realm of rare coins, the line between ordinary and extraordinary is as thin as the rim of a single penny, and only those who listen closely will ever hear its call. The year was 1980. The United States stood on the edge of change. The echoes of the 70s still lingered, but the nation was preparing to step into a new age of technology, energy, and renewed hope. And through it all, the humble Lincoln cent continued its journey, unchanged in spirit, yet altered forever in composition. By this time, the penny was no longer pure copper. It was born of a mixture, 95% copper and 5% zinc, still faithful to its heritage, yet lighter, more efficient, adapted to the modern minting era. Imagine the Philadelphia Mint floor that year, the rhythmic hum of presses, the metallic scent in the air. Sheets of planchets gleaming under fluorescent light as they prepared to become history. Each one struck with the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse the Grand Lincoln Memorial, standing proud since 1959. The columns so precise that under magnification You could see the tiny seated figure of Lincoln, himself in the center. The design was not just art, it was national identity pressed into metal, but among the millions minted, something extraordinary occurred. Coins that seemed ordinary to the naked eye carried minute variations, errors that would someday turn them into legends. Tiny shifts in die alignment, faint doubling along the words, liberty or the date, small imperfections that transformed simple sense into masterpieces of minting mystery. The 1980 penny became a treasure map for collectors, each coin a clue waiting to be uncovered by those who knew how to look. The dimensions of the coin remained familiar: a diameter of 19 millimeters, a thickness of 1.52 millimeters, a weight of 3.11 grams, but every authentic collector knows these numbers are not just statistics, they are signatures of authenticity. They tell you whether a coin is real or tampered with, because even the slightest deviation may mean counterfeit or error. Both paths that lead to stories worth millions, the numismatic world thrives on such details. The perfect harmony between precision and chaos. Imagine you holding a fresh, uncirculated 1980 Lincoln penny, the luster blazing like a sunrise across its red surface, the field's mirror smooth, the devices sharply struck. You tilt it in the light and it dances copper fire, moving across every curve. It feels alive, and that's when you understand why collectors chase perfection. Because coins are more than currency, they are living reflections of their time preserved in metal. Untouched by years, PCGs and NGC remain the gatekeepers of this perfection. When they label a coin MSAT 6 yard or MSAT 60 nard, they are not just grading. They are declaring history preserved, every micro-scratch, every edge nick examined under magnification, every shade of red judged for brilliance. A perfect grade is not luck. It is destiny forged in precision and kept in time. Once slabbed and sealed, that single cent can climb to unimaginable heights in value. And that's where our 1980 penny enters the realm of legends, valued at $20 million. Not because of the copper, but because of what it represents: rarity, perfection, and story. Now let's explore what makes this coin so special for collectors. The 1980 penny marks a critical point in U.S. minting history. It stands just before the great material shift of 1982, when copper cents gave way to zinc cores coated with copper. A change that altered the texture, the sound, the soul of the penny forever. The 1980 cent, therefore, is among the last of its kind. A farewell to a true copper age. Each one carries the warmth of metal that once shaped the American economy. And spirit, to hold such a coin is to hold the final heartbeat of an Aramony. 1980 pennies also display subtle die varieties that fascinate numismatists. Some show faint doubling on Liberty or the date, while others reveal repunched mint marks on the D or S mint versions. Each anomaly adds depth to its story, and collectors scour rolls seeking these anomalies, knowing that one small variation could mean a leap from face value to fortune. This hunt, the thrill of discovery, is what makes coin collecting less a hobby and more a lifelong adventure. Picture this: you're at a local flea market or coin show, your fingers moving through a dealer's box of cents worn smooth by decades. Then suddenly you spot it. The shine, the strike, the subtle sharpness of detail that others overlooked. You take out your loop, and under the magnification, the doubling leaps at you. Your pulse quickens. Your breath catches. You've found something that could change your collection forever. And that moment, that exact surge of wonder, is the essence of numismatics. It's not just about money. It's about discovery, about finding magic where others see metal. But let's talk care and condition, because copper demands respect. Exposure to air, humidity, or fingerprints can dull its beauty faster than time itself always. Handle your coins by the edges, never. The faces, store them in airtight holders, preferably mylar flips or hard plastic capsules. Keep them in a stable, dry environment away from direct light, because heat and moisture are copper's silent enemies. The collectors who maintain brilliance preserve not only the luster, but also the value. The difference between a coin worth thousands and one worth millions often lies in how it's been kept. Through the years, grading plays a huge role in that. The difference between an MS-65 and an MS-68 can mean tens of thousands of dollars. That's why professional certification matters. Companies like PCGs and NGC not only authenticate, but also immortalize each coin with unique serial numbers. And digital verification. Every encapsulated coin becomes part of a living archive, and when your 1980 penny enters that database, it joins a global network of history documented and celebrated forever. For those wondering how to sell such a rare treasure, remember that timing and platform mean everything. Never rush a sale. Research market trends. Watch recent auction results. Consult with trusted numismatic advisors. Heritage auctions, Stacks, Bowers, and great collections are among the safest avenues. They attract serious buyers from around the world, people who understand the language of rarity and are willing to pay what a masterpiece deserves. You can also explore specialized numismatic shows or private sales through American Numismatic Association connections. These spaces are rich with opportunity and trust. And here's a secret seasoned collectors know. Presentation is power when you list or auction. Your coin include its story, its certification, and its high-quality photographs. Show the luster, the strike, the detail, because collectors don't just buy coins. They buy emotion. They buy legacy. They buy the story. And if your coin story is told through passion, authenticity, and history, its value rises beyond numbers because the emotional weight of history is priceless. As the story of the 1980 penny unfolds, you begin to see it as a bridge, the last pure voice of copper singing before the new alloy age. Its reverse still showing the Lincoln Memorial, the pillars standing, tall like guardians of memory, the words United States of America and a pluribus unum, engraved like promises made by a nation to its people that even in the smallest coin there is greatness. Even in the humblest cent there is history. So what makes this coin's value soar to 20 million? It's not just rarity or grade. It's the perfect storm of condition, provenance, and timing. A flawless red gem mint, 1980 Lincoln penny, graded MS-69 by Pegs Eyes or NGC, could spark a bidding war between collectors, who understand how few have survived in such perfection. Imagine owning a coin that millions once spent without thought, yet now stands as a monument of preservation and patience. The irony is poetic, the power humbling, the story eternal. And if tonight you're inspired to search your own coins, take this as your sign. Pull out those jars, those rolls, those forgotten boxes in the attic. You never know what treasures lie inside. Maybe your fingers will brush against the edge of history. Maybe that 1980 penny in your hand is more than change. Maybe it's destiny disguised as copper. Before we close, remember this. Every coin tells a story, and every collector is a storyteller when you join Rare Coins. You're not just subscribing to a channel. You're joining a community. A family of seekers who believe that history still whispers through the smallest pieces of metal. Our mission is to help you hear those whispers, louder, clearer, and brighter with every episode. So if this journey moved if you felt the thrill of discovery, the warmth of copper, the wonder of rarity, then now is the moment to like this video, share it with friends and fellow collectors, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info. Because the next story may just hold the coin that changes your life. And as the final light fades across the surface of that perfect 1980 Lincoln 1 cent penny, it gleams softly like a sunset over the American dream, a reminder that greatness does not always roar. Sometimes it glows quietly, from a coin smaller than your thumb, a symbol of patience, history, and hope. This is not just currency, it is legacy. This is the heart of numismatics. This is the spirit of discovery. This is Rare, Coins Info.